Good day, folks. Good day. All right, as you can see, I'm in the car again. I'm out with the girls and the wifey. We had an appointment today, pediatrician, and the wifey's in the store now. Girls sleep in the back seat. Oh, somebody just woke up. Uh-oh. But yeah, I want to make this video and talk about vocabulary, particularly forgetting vocabulary, and looking up vocabulary and then forgetting. This tends to be a very common question I get. People ask me, how am I learning vocabulary, and what do I do when I forget the vocab? So yeah, basically what I do, I think one of the most important things to do when learning vocabulary is to work from a whole bunch of resources. For example, I'm going to use check again. Now, there are, of course, there are going to be some words I don't understand, right? And I'm going to have to look them up. Now, what happens is I will look up, let's say there's a certain word I saw. Maybe it was in a book, somewhere I saw it, and I looked it up to get the definition. Now, I may not, it's not for sure, it's not guaranteed that I'm going to retain it, okay? It's not guaranteed that I'm going to retain that vocabulary. However, I'm going to retain it when I see it again in different contexts. I'm going to see it again, and when I do see it again, I'm going to retain it. I'm not going to forget it. So I'm chatting with natives. There's a certain vocabulary word that came up that I didn't understand. I looked up, and I retained. It was in my short-term memory for that time. A couple days later, forgot it. I didn't know what it was. Now, when I see it, I saw it like maybe in a book. Let's say Ossie Mayo, Teach Yourself, or some authentic readings I read through. And I look it up again. I say, wait a minute, this word looked familiar. And I looked it up again. I said, oh, okay, so that is the same word. I will never forget that word again. And I think this happens with everyone. And it's natural. People say, well, I look up the vocabulary word and I forget right away. That's natural. You're not going to remember the vocabulary right away. But what you're going to have to do is expose yourself to, the language. You have to read a lot of material. That's why I say it's good to work from several resources at a time, So like right now, I'm working with Colloquial. I'm using Colloquial check, Teach Yourself check, Hippocrane check, check for foreigners, and then I occasionally go to Link and read like some text over there, and then I read some other authentic stuff that was sent to me, like just readings. They're like very difficult vocabulary and stuff, but I just read through them, and I don't look everything up. The only reason why I go through those texts is just to see what words I recognize and try to pick out those words that I saw before so I can retain them. I hope that makes sense. So the key is exposure. Exposure. When you work from one resource, go use another one and read through it. Don't stress yourself out trying to remember the vocabulary, trying to sit there for hours and memorize the vocabulary word, because it's not going to work. It's going to take time. Just relax, look it up, and then what happened? She forgot something. What happened?
The Kroger card.
Oh, you need the Kroger's card?
Yeah.
I'm making a video here. So don't disturb me. I'm making this video. So yeah, the vocabulary, basically, like I said, just relax. If you don't remember the vocab, it's fine. But you need to keep reading. You need to keep chatting. You need to do all this stuff so you can hear that vocabulary word, whatever the vocabulary words you saw before. Yeah, I find it fascinating when I'm listening to the radio station, or I go to a forum let's say I go to the Czech forum on Link, and I look through it and I read through the post, and I see a vocabulary word that I saw in like maybe Osimir or something, and I get so excited, especially when I hear it on the radio station. I hear them using the sentence, like, wow, that's just, that gets me pumped up. So what do? Exposure. That's very important. So relax, learn the vocab, have fun. It's going to soak in eventually. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to conclude this video. What are some of you guys' techniques when it comes to learning vocabulary? Anki, I'm not really a fan of flashcards or, you know, that's those type of programs. I'm not going to say they're bad because they work for a lot of people, but I'd rather have a context, like mini context, where I can read and then see the vocabulary come up many times, then so I can retain it. It's always best through a context. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, thanks for viewing, and talk to you guys here shortly.